Without a big round of applause. CEO of Dominance MMA. This is his vision brought to life.
What's up, guys? I just want to say thank you so much for the media. I know a lot of you in Australia come here to support us, and this is our first Dominance MMA Media Day. We're going to do this thing more often. I want to thank all the fighters here. And as you know, we're going to be two groups because we have too many guys. And I really appreciate you coming and give all these guys as much press they can. And I'm grateful for you and for them and for everybody else. And we're going to start this thing, and I think Mr. Mike Tyson will have his word to introduce himself and say thank you to the Tyson Ranch for having us, and my brother Rob Hickman also. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you. Hey, listen, we're all honored here, me and all the partners and associates at Tyson Ranch to have everyone here. And we just like to let all fighters know that our doors are always open to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, so the way this is going to work is basically we have all the fighters up here. I'm just going to list their names, although you guys have them on the sheets. And then maybe you guys raise your hand because I know they know who you are, but just to make sure. We have Marvin Vittori, Mark Madsen, Bubba Jenkins, Benil Dariush, Aaron Pico, Anthony Johnson, Corey Anderson, Dan Ives, Derek Brinson, Giga Chikadzik, sorry, Eric Perez, and Claudia Gadelha. So basically, media, when you guys have a question, just raise your hand and we'll bring you the microphone. So go ahead, get started.
Afternoon, everybody. Big crew up there. We're gonna start with the man that I haven't seen in the longest. That'd be Anthony Rumble Johnson back there. It's been about 2.5 years at this point since we got a chance to see you compete. People still ask about you every day, man. So give us the update. Are you starting to get the itch to come back? What's the feel right now?
It's good to see you, man. How you been?
Good, thank you.
I'm back because I want to be back. You know, some people want to say it's for money. Some people want to say whatever. You know, honestly, I'm back because I want to come back. And DC and Stipe actually got me motivated to come back. You know, so I give them the credit for it actually making me want to fight again.
When you say that they motivated you to come back, it was their fight itself that made you want to come back?
Yeah, their last fight was such a good fight. You know, it just made me just get that itch again, just to want to go out there and beat some people up.
How much has training been a part of your process during this time away? I mean, did you step completely away? Did you stay in the gym? What was it?
No, for 2 years I didn't do anything. I didn't want to have anything to do with mixed martial arts at all. I was honestly just burnt out. You know, just was done with it. So I think over the 2 years I was out, I maybe watched 3 fights, something like that. I don't know any of the new fighters or anything like that. So I'm the old man in the group now.
So what's the plan from here? I mean, do you have a target date in mind, or what do you do?
Hopefully April. I'm trying to fight by April of next year, for sure.
What's the dream matchup? I mean, are we going right to the top of the division? Is it John Jones maybe?
Everybody. I'm trying to make everybody a suspect, a victim of what I can do.
And last thing for me, I mean, is this a short-term thing? I mean, do you think you go back in there and say, you know what, I think this still sucks, or do you think like, hey, I'm making a run?
I'm pretty sure it still suck at times, but I plan on sticking around for a little bit.
Thanks, Anthony. I want to talk to the man next to you, Corey. I know you wanted a big fight next. You know, you wanted somebody, you were angling for a title fight. You know, instead you get this kind of up-and-coming contender. I'm curious what you thought about the matchup, and if it excites you, if it frustrates you, what your feeling was.
I mean, it's a little bit of both. A lot of excitement because the excitement behind his name, the name Johnny Walker. You know, you can't mention him now. The casual's not busting nut. So if I go out there and bust his ass, you know, I feel like that's put me in a good spot. And yeah, I wanted the title fight. I feel I deserve the title fight. But as we all see now, the UFC isn't what it used to be, is it? If you beat the top guy, you get that spot. It's who's going to sell the top tickets and the top number. And be exciting, and that's what it takes to get those fights, I guess.
So do you feel like, I mean, this fight could be enough, or do you just don't even know these days?
I mean, I feel it should be enough, but at the same time, I wouldn't put it past him that it wouldn't. You know, they said the same thing at Glover, him being number 3. Everybody in the media said, you should definitely be top 5, you'll be next in the running. And I said right there, like, don't count your chickens yet, I doubt it. And sure enough, rankings came on, I was ranked like 8th or 9th, and I keep going down. So, you never know. We have to see what happens.
You mentioned the hype around him. I mean, as you said, the casuals like him. He does have a lot of hype. Do you think he's deserving of it, or do you think it's too much?
I mean, it's a little too much. He's exciting. You can't take that from him. He's exciting. He does exciting things. He's got 3 first-round finishes. But then you ask yourself, who has he finished? You know, the guys that he finished, it ain't like he's going out there doing it to the guys that's title contenders. Like, I'm going out there, I dominated Glover Teixeira, who was a title contender. You know, he fought for the title. He's beating guys that's never even got past the top 10 yet. So I just need to go out there and show that he hasn't beat anybody in the top 10 yet.
Last thing for me, I saw your can't t-shirt. It can only last so long. That's the message. What does that mean? What's the genesis of that?
I mean, that's just like everything. They say, embrace the grind. You know, it came to me, my father said it to me when I was a kid in high school playing football. I was getting ready to quit. I was tired, you know, and he came up the ring and said, it can only last so long. So and he disappeared. And I remember it was when the Ultimate Fighter in the sauna couldn't wait. Somebody said like, oh, we only got so much longer in here. And I thought about it. It only lasts so long. And I just think about everything in life, no matter how hard it is, how tough it is, no matter what you're going through, hard times, tough times, great times, it can only last so long. You can only be at the top for so long, you can only be at the bottom for so long. Everything can only last so long. So remember that and just keep your nose to the grindstone and get it done.
Thanks, Corey. Appreciate it. Just last, I want to wrap up with Dan. You're kind of a unique position here, right? I mean, you're an athlete, but you're part of the Dominance MMA management team as well. So I just wonder kind of what it feels like for you right now to be up here. Are you an athlete? Are you a manager? What's going on?
What's up, guys? Hello. First of all, thank you, Tyson Rand, for hosting this amazing event, you know, here at Dominance MMA. But today, I'd say I'm a fighter, you know. I know there's certain times you have to put on the fighter hat and you got to put on the manager hat. Because if you're that fighter 100% every day, you know, you can burn out. But same with the manager side. So it's good to have that balance in life and, you know, get in the cage and be an animal.
I know the fighter in you teased a little bit of fight news. I know fighters aren't supposed to break their own fights, but as a manager, certainly, you know, on or off record, you can tell us what you got coming up next.
Yeah, I don't have a bout agreement signed yet, but I can say I will be fighting early next year, and it will be against a ranked opponent. So
I was going to ask you, I know you wanted a ranked opponent, so it is a ranked opponent. What are the goals? I know you want to try to get one more in this year, right? So you have to wait till next year. What are the goals? Because you wanted to break into the rankings this year.
yeah, you know, we write down goals, and sometimes, you know, we don't get in within our timeline, but, you know, that only makes me hungrier. My goal is to be ranked by the end of 2019, and it looks like it's going to happen in 2020, but, you know, I'm going to hit that goal regardless of the day, and I will be ranked, you know, early next year.
So question is for Aaron Pico. So is it emotionally difficult watching the Bellator Featherweight Grand Prix play out right now without you?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Sometimes, I mean, you're like, you know, there's a lot of guys in there that I feel like it can be. But right now, I'm enjoying my time not being in the tournament. I don't really have to worry about that stress or have to worry about anything other than just, you know, taking one fight at a time. So in a way, it kind of makes sense that, you know, that I'm not in the tournament. But for sure, I would be lying if I said sometimes I wish I was. Sometimes I go back and forth. Sometimes I wish I wasn't, and sometimes I'm like, you know, it's a good thing that I'm not. But I think overall, it's best that I'm sitting out the tournament for sure.
I know you've kind of gone past your first training camp with the Jackson Wing Camp. Do you feel more so that the pieces are kind of falling in line now?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel really good being out in Albuquerque. I really enjoy it. I love Greg Jackson and, you know, Six Gun and Coach Wayne. They've done, you know, a really good job with, you know, breaking things down for me. Really young in the game, got a lot of skills, but I need to slow it down a little bit and really learn a lot. So, for me, Greg is taking the time. I'm very fortunate that he, you know, spends a lot of time with me, and as all the coaches. So I feel really good being in Albuquerque for sure.
And just as a fan, Who are you kind of favoring to win this tournament?
The Bellator tournament?
Yes.
AJ McKee. I feel he'll win the tournament. Yeah. Hands down.
Next is for Mark Madsen. So you had a very, very impressive debut and in front of your home country to add on to the drama. How fast are you seeing yourself rising up the ranks in the UFC?
Hello guys. Well, I guess time will tell. Honestly, I believe I have the potential to beat everyone in the lightweight division. But I'd like to take my time, develop. I'm pretty new in the sport. I retired wrestling 18 months ago, moved into MMA. I'll take my time, develop, and see where the future will bring me.
All right, and can you juxtapose the level of nerves or just kind of the level of hype around competing on the world stage in the Olympics and then having a co-main event for your UFC debut in your home country? Well, which one felt a little bigger to you?
Well, obviously competing on the world's biggest MMA stage, the UFC is a pretty big deal, right? This was my debut. I thought I would be fighting on the prelims. I got bumped up being a co-main event in front of 13,000 Danish fans. Enormous hype in Denmark, it was a lot of pressure. It was an exciting challenge, and well, I got to put it all the way on there. Winning an Olympic medal and performing in front of a home crowd is, the feeling is pretty much the same. It was very exciting.
Thank you. Next one is for Marvin Vettori. So Marvin, you until your fellow dominance management client Claudia Gadelha fought Israel Adesanya, that was you were considered his toughest test. Now seeing his success since you two fought, has that boosted your confidence at all? Does it add to your assurance that you can make an impact on the UFC?
I knew from before. I think I know him pretty well. Meet him in the cage. It means more than actually hearing whatever he says and whatever he does. And even not just at the fight, just right after the fight, I feel like I see his true colors. And yeah, I definitely. My fight with him. What's crazy is that it was almost like a year and a half ago. And in the last year and a half, I've improved so much. It's unbelievable. I'm sure he's improved too, but I feel like I really found like a stepping stone in my career, and I improved a lot. And the problem that I gave him a year and a half ago, and comparing to what I was a year and a half ago, I think in the next time I'll meet him, there won't be no doubt. But it's past, and I'm looking to the present now. I have a fight in less than a week, so I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. And I know deep inside I can be the world champion. So I just have to keep going on this path, and time will show. I'm not really focused on this, but I knew before that I can have an impact on this division for sure. And from the first day that I'm here, I'm in for this. But yeah, he did good. He's the champ right now, and can't wait to meet him again.
Similar question for Mr. Brunson up there. You tweeted that it was bittersweet watching Whitaker and Adesanya fight. I'm curious what else went through your mind when you were watching that spectacle, the crowd, Israel Adesanya's entrance, the actual fight itself. What was going through your mind watching that?
I don't know. Like you said, it was bittersweet. I don't like to make excuses. We sign up for fights, you go out there and fight. But a lot of the fights that I lost, it was kind of due to my dumbness, just a little too aggressive, didn't have the right mentality, kind of trained at home in my comfort zone. And even with the Israel fight, we had a hurricane, so I was without power for like 2 weeks. I didn't train for like 2 weeks, and I had a pregnant fiance, So it's just a lot of things that come up that it's not really worth sharing because it don't matter. You go out there and you fight, you win or you lose. But me personally, dealing with myself, I'm like, man, I know I can win these fights, if I had the proper preparation. And switching up my training camps, being in Florida at Hard Knocks for like the last 2 camps has been really big for me, really good training partners, really good coaching staff. And I feel going forward that we can really make a huge impact.
Thank you. And then one quick one for Mr. Pico. I spoke to your coach, Greg Jackson, in July, and he actually said he wanted you back in the cage, like a quick turnaround after your last fight. You're saying you've enjoyed your time away. Was it your choice to take this time off, or did you have to tell your coaching staff to pump the brakes too?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted, like, after a fight you lose, you want to go right back in, but I think it was best for me just to take some time off and really develop, let my body heal, and yeah, I think it was the best for me, just so I can just spend weeks with Greg and the coaches there and really learn, rather than just jumping straight into fight camp, because sometimes it's, fight camp is different than actual, like, out of camp. Out of camp you get to, like, learn and try different things in training. So I think the time away from the cage was good for me, but now we should be looking for a fight soon and get right back in the cage. I need it.
Yeah, that was my next question. Is there any word from Bellator of what they're targeting for you next in terms of opponent or a date or anything like that?
Yeah, it should be end of November, beginning of December. We should know soon. So yeah, just waiting on Bellator. I'm ready, and we'll be back soon.
And then one final one for Mr. Perez in the back. You recently signed with Bellator. You fought in the UFC, you fought in Combate. So I'm curious what went into your decision to sign with Bellator this time?
This time I was freezing in one contract for 1 year, and now I'm free. So Bellator got me, and I wanna fight very soon, like in December, November. I'm waiting to Bellator ask me to fight.
Does the fact that they do a lot of cross-promotion fights, where they'll promote fights with Ryzen where you can go overseas and fight in the ring, did that entice you at all to sign with Bellator?
No, I just want to fight soon. Is why I signed with Bellator. Thank you.
This question for the group, so anyone who wants to chime in, please do. Just wondering the idea of respect, what that means to you as a fighter, what that means in the game of mixed martial arts. Anyone want to chime in and sort of talk about, is it better to be respected, better to be rich? What does that mean for you as a competitor in this sport? Anybody want to chime in first? Aaron, if you want to start, pass the mic around.
I'm Bubba Jenkins.
Hey, Bubba.
And respect to me is, just kind of understanding the boundaries, having that understanding of moral boundaries, of not really going over the line, and going into sensitivity in areas that, when it comes to selling the fight, that, we all know are not to be touched. And during the fight and after the fight, to have that same moral type of compass and class after the fight, to, have the ability to show your comrade and your person who you shared the cage with, have the ability to show him that same kind of fortitude that you would like if you had taken a loss. So really, I think respect is a strong place of caring for people with class the same way you would like to be cared for.
Anyone else want to chime in? Thank you.
Follow up with Bubba right here. You had teased, I think, I don't know, it was earlier this week maybe, that you had big news coming. I'm just curious if you could maybe elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, I mean, big news is that we all here. This is a stage that I'm new to, as far as the type of names being under one management and having the power of these minds that I've never had before. Big news is, I'm finally, I would say, the diamond in the rough that hasn't been found, and I'm here with guys who have shared pay-per-view, who have shared championships, who have shared different things, and I guess I would be that I'm new to the stage, and me coming out and saying, hey guys, I'm wearing a red hat and red shoes, and I'm sharing the stage with legends, and the big news is I'm finally living up to that ability that I would say the game knew I was going to come with.
Just to elaborate on that or follow up, what do you feel like it's clicked for you? Because it seems like over these last couple of years you really have taken it to a new level with your career.
Man, I would say validation is in the womb of timing, and I knew that I was going to be good, and I knew that I could do great things with my wrestling ability, and just the fact that I was a smart athlete, and putting the striking and the MMA and
the jiu-jitsu, putting it all together to form a complete science of who I am is basically we clicked. I stopped trying to mold myself into all these other things that people wanted me to be. I started to see the game for myself, and I made my own kind of vision of what I wanted to be, and now I am that, and I'm walking in that. I finally know who I am and what I am, so that's what clicked.
What is
Sorry guys, I got a plane to catch in about an hour, so I'm leaving. But thank you for everybody coming here, and it was an awesome stage, and thank you very much everybody. See you soon.
Last thing for Bubba from me. What is sort of the immediate goal for you now? Are you with Brave? It seems is that kind of where you want to do for the next year or two, or do you have goals outside of that as well?
I'm the champ right now at 145 in Brave, and you know my ranking in the world is going up. I guess you could say I'm buzzing like a bee after steamrolling a pretty famous Brazilian fighter, and I think I'm just going to listen to the Kingmaker. You know, he's got all these people here, and he's done a lot of good things for their career. And I've been running the ball, as you can say, myself for a long time. And you know, I'm finally giving the keys over to Ali and dominance. And I can only imagine amazing things coming. You know, as I sit here on the stage, as these guys are my witness, big things are coming for not only myself, but each and every one of them.
Awesome, appreciate it, man. Real quick for Claudia. Your foot's okay, right? Everything's good with the foot?
It fell off the other day, but yeah, my foot is fine.
What was that? Was it just a fake foot that you had?
It was like I was in a Halloween party and they had a foot there. I thought it was interesting then.
I think it was way too
sorry for the joke, guys.
That was really realistic. How have things been over in New Jersey with everybody? I mean, this is now you've had some time now to really acclimate there. How have you been enjoying it there?
Yeah, so I broke my finger. I broke a finger in my last fight, and I twisted my ankle, so I torn a ligament in my ankle. So I've been treating these injuries for the last couple months in Las Vegas and the PI. I'm going back to New Jersey Saturday to train with Mark and Ricardo, Corey, Frankie, all these guys. And I'm so excited. You know, I'm gonna be there for 7 weeks. I'm 9 weeks out now, so it's time to get my ass back there and train.
Last thing, what do you think about the state of the division at this point? I think a lot of people were surprised by what Will Lee did to Jessica not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised too. You know, I knew somebody was gonna do this to Jessica one day, you know, because she's a brawler. She just throw punches and she's very strong. But I didn't know it was gonna be Willie. You know, I was very surprised with how the fight happened. You know, but I'm happy now. You know, the division is moving, and we don't know what's gonna happen.
When you look at her as champion, do you feel like she's a good matchup for you?
Yeah, I do. I just don't know a lot about her. You know, I didn't know what was gonna happen between her and Jessica because we don't know a lot about her. She has 4 fights in the UFC, and you know, she fought good fighters, you know, but we haven't seen that much of her until she fought Jessica. So I'm excited to see a little more of her.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask you about Cynthia. You know, how is that fight going and preparation going to the fight? How is it right now?
I'm excited for that fight because I feel like I fight better when I have good competition, you know, and Cynthia is a good competitor. She fights for her life, so do I, you know, and she likes to bang and I do. I think we have similar styles, and I think it's a good fight for me, you know.
Benil, this is actually a question for you, but it's about Giga. Because Giga won his first fight in the UFC in Denmark. Now, I know you've been training with him for a long time. Maybe Giga, I'm going to ask you about Benny as well. But, you know, this is somebody that we knew should have been in the UFC for quite some time. So I feel like you're probably like a proud big brother up here. What did you think of that? And how do you feel about him finally being in there with you?
Oh man, we were just joking right now about finally sitting next to each other. You know, in the media, I said next thing we're gonna do is fight next to each other. You know, in the same show. We're gonna fight in the same show. When he called me and he says, "Hey, I'm fighting in the UFC," at first I was like, "What? No way!" I'm like, "When?" He's like, "2 weeks." I was like, "No, you can't." I'm like, "You can't. I can't be there. If I'm not gonna be there, you can't fight." And we talked about it, and he took the fight. but just watching him fight, I felt like I was in the fight. I'm thinking about the fight right now, I'm sweating. I was like, when he got taken down, I'm like, Giga, get up. Damn it, Giga, get up. It's been such a roller coaster from the outside, from me watching him, and I can't imagine for him. So I'm so grateful for him to finally be here.
And Giga, yeah, I mean, obviously you have a great team down there at King's MMA. How have they prepared you for now? I mean, you have so much world experience in that one gym.
Yeah, so I've been waiting for this time to tell and share all the story. I believe the time is not going to be enough to talk about that. So I moved here, I was actually visiting LA in 2014 in summer, and came down from LA very last day when I was going to leave back to Amsterdam, and met Master Rafael Cordeiro. Daniel Darius was actually, Baba was inside the gym that day. That was my first day when we were there too. And we had a great training, and after that Benny and Master, they opened the door. They opened the door and I got super excited to move here. Being my first trip was amazing, and since then I decided to move my family. And since then, Benny and all the Kings are like only family for me here. You know? Like, of course, I have few people from Georgia, which I'm very close, but these people for me being like fathers, brothers, or I don't know, super important. I was sharing each minute of training with these beasts, and I was getting more motivated and motivated. Finally, 2 weeks ago we made it, and I know how happy is this family for me. I know it's not just for me. And of course I represent my country as well, which they were getting crazy there. But yeah, these people are super important in my life, which I'm very thankful as well.
No, Mark, you have had the opportunity, Giga told me that you were down at King's training. So, you know, when we were in Denmark the other day, that sounds so cool to say, actually, that was an amazing place. But you talked about the fact that you don't have a great opportunity for certain kinds of training partners. So are you really considering moving here to the States, or at least spending some extended time here to train?
Yeah, I'll be doing my camps here in the States. So whenever I have a fight, I'll be coming here. I mean,
which gym though?
Wherever I get the best training. I mean, the States has a bunch of great wrestlers, especially in MMA, you know, top ranked. So this is the place to develop my MMA wrestling.
And Rumble, this is a question for you. I kind of was mentioning this to you before, but do you feel the love that the fans have for you? Like, can you tell how badly people want you back? Do you feel that?
Yeah. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, for the since the day I retired, people have been contacting me and wanting me to come back to fight. And it really never died down. But once it was announced that I was coming back, it definitely, they showed me how much they appreciated the things that I've done in the sport and the entertainment and the excitement that I've brought to the sport. So they've been showing nothing but love. So they're excited. You know, the fans definitely keep me excited now.
Well, and you were kind of a different breed of fighter. You were the guy that everybody was afraid of. It was like, oh, you know what, Rumble's fighting, I can't miss that. Do you feel that we have enough of those guys right now?
Not in the heavyweight division. To me, it's like everybody is, there's nobody afraid of the next person, which is fine. But, I mean, when I was fighting at 205, there was always at least one person in every division that was just a bad motherfucker, and just be like, yo, y'all need to watch out for him, you know? But they're not saying that really in the heavyweight division. You know, I think the scariest guy in the division for them really is Francis. The scariest, not the best, but the scariest.
Makes sense. And Claudia, for you, I know you were just talking about training with Mark Henry and those guys. When you look back, you know, you've had some ups and you've had some downs. When you look back in hindsight, do you see where things may have gone wrong? Do you see why certain fights didn't go your way, maybe in your preparation or just in your mindset?
I feel like we're competitors, right? We work with results. If things don't go your way, you know, something went wrong. And when you win, things go wrong too, you know, but we actually don't go back and fix it when like most of the fighters, right? Now I try to go back and fix it, even when I win. I trained in Novo União for 10 years, and I left 3 years ago by myself, career, you know. I didn't have a manager, I didn't know what I was doing, and I went everywhere, you know. I trained in a bunch of places, I spent some time in Albuquerque, which was great for me. I had to change my mentality, you know, of like the Brazilian brawler that just goes to the gym and beat each other up, to a MMA competitor that understands the strategy and the technique, you know. So I feel like this last 3 years I've been going through all of that, you know, and now being with Mark and Ricardo in New Jersey and spending time with all these amazing fighters I've been training with lately, it's bringing me back, you know. I'm more motivated now, you know. I felt like I lost that motivation because I was all over the place and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. I still had that feeling. I wanted to win, but I didn't have the motivation, you know. So I feel like I'm getting back there now.
Last question is Joanna or Michelle, who's winning?
I want Michelle to win. Always against Joanna, right? But I think Joanna will win that one.
Thank you.
This goes for Eric Rito Perez. You have the fastest knockout in the UFC bantamweight division with 17 seconds, 5-0 in your last 5 fights. Making the transition to Bellator. What are your vision, your expectations of Bellator? Are we going to see the first born and raised Mexican be champion of Bellator? Is Goyito Perez going to be the Bellator champion?
Yes, I'm prepared for that. I jumped into Bellator because my manager told me that it was the best decision for me. And I think in this year, I was now in UFC, I was in Combate, and this year I'm evolution my game. So I think I'm ready for big fighters, big names, and I'm ready to knock out the guys.
You spend all your career by yourself, no managers, sometimes just like Claudia said, you know, traveling around. Now you're under Lee's management, Dominus MMA, which is the largest MMA agency. How do you feel to be now under this agency?
Just I'm focused and fight. No, I'm not good at make business. I'm good at fighting. I'm good at go to the cage, be excited fighter, and you guys want to see. Maybe a lot of guys know my name now, but you guys gonna see who is Goyito Perez.
Mensaje en español para tus fanáticos de México y Latinoamérica, Goyito.
Que pronto tendrán el primer mexicano en Bellator, campeón de Bellator, estoy muy seguro.
I got a couple for Anthony. For Rumble. Right here, Anthony, to your left. Have you, hello, how are you? Have you re-entered USADA testing pool yet?
Not yet.
When do you intend to do that?
I don't know. I thought about it. I'm just training. That's what I've been doing.
Okay. You looked like you did some weightlifting while you were away. What's the highest you got up to? What was your weight at? Whatever your heaviest?
Whenever I was really in the gym, I don't know, 260.
Oh, that's it.
Whenever I was like really in the gym lifting and stuff, but once I stopped, I got to 276.
You mentioned Francis as being the kind of scariest guy in the division. I don't think many people would disagree with that. And it seems like that'd be an easy fight to market, easy fight to promote. You know, the scariest guy when you were in your prime versus the new scariest guy. Do you feel like probably on a collision course with him at some point?
Yeah, I think we'll meet eventually, but I know everybody's wanting, most people just want the fight, but to me, and hopefully to Francis, it has to happen at the right time, not just have a fight happen just to get everybody else rocks off, you know what I mean? Excuse my language, or however you want me to say it, but no, if I fight Francis, I want it to be for something like serious, not just a fight, not just a main event fight. I want to be for, at least let us fight for the title, you know. That way it really counts, not just, like I said, getting everybody else rocks off and just trying to beat each other up for no reason.
Yeah. Like a number 1 contender fight, would that be enough, or it has to be?
No, I want it to be a title fight. Like that fight is too hyped up and too big for it not to be a title fight. If one of us are holding the title,
sure.
What if
but if it's the last, you know, no other choice, then I mean that's what I have to do. Like I don't see it going down that way. But we know how it goes.
Last thing I wanted to ask you about real quickly is, do you have any thoughts on Izzy? I mean, you brought him in to be your John Jones in 2015. Did you think that he, when you sparred with him, you know, 3 years ago, did you see this coming at all from him?
Man, I didn't. I mean, I knew he was good. I didn't know much about him. Like I said, I just knew he was good. And once he got in there, though, I was like, this kid is gonna make some noise. You know, once I saw him in the octagon doing his thing, but. Mad props to him for winning the title. You know, he showed that anybody can do it if you put your mind to it. Come with your own style, you know, and you stick to who you are. So I like what he does in the octagon and the man he is outside of the octagon. I mean, I'm gonna give him his credit. You know, when we sparred each other, he got the better end of me. But I'm gonna put it on out there, everybody. He had just had a fight, and I was only 2 weeks into a camp. But he was piecing me up pretty good. But even whenever I'm usually out of shape, I don't get pieced up that much at least. But he definitely stuck it to me, and the kid is very special.
Thanks, Ed. And then just one real quick one for Aaron. I mean, we're here at this press conference. It's a management press conference, you know, and I think it's interesting because during your career, that's been a little bit of a controversy, right, of how Aaron's career has been managed and how his matchmaking has been managed. So can you just talk about your decision to use this management company and what you're looking for in management right now?
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes in my career, earlier in my career. But after my last fight, I just sat down with Ali, we met, and I heard nothing but good things with Ali. So I'm very fortunate that Ali was willing to help me and help my career get back on the right track. And I felt really good being with Ali, and I sat down with him and expressed how I felt and how he saw. You know, he said, "I still really believe in you. I feel like you can do a lot of great things." And he's seen me train. He's seen me go with the best guys in the world. So being with Dominance and MMA, I feel that they're going to really help guide my career back on track and get me ultimately where we need to go. So I feel really happy with the team. So, and it's really nice being with Dominance MMA because I've met so many new guys. There's so many guys that I've trained with that I would have never trained with before if I wasn't with Ali. And it's kind of crazy because you see guys, you know, all the time like fighting on TV, and when you really get to meet them and talk to them, I mean, it's really special. Everybody has a lot of respect for each other. It's really cool to be able to train with them and just pick their brains, and I feel really happy being with them. It's a great home.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, can we please get a round of applause for all of our athletes from Peru?